Welcome to the Donovan and Jorgensen Heating and Cooling Friday Night Rivals pregame show. I'm Mike McGivern. Thank you so much for joining us. The name of this show is Friday Night Rivals, and this matchup tonight fits perfectly with that name. Two schools in the same conference, the Slinger Owls and the Hartford Orioles. These communities separated by just 9 miles. In the last 4 years, they've split, with Hartford winning 2 and Slinger winning 2. And you add all of that up, and what you get is a true rivalry game. But this one's a bit different. Tonight will mark the 14th year that these two schools have combined forces to raise money for the American Cancer Society. The event was started in 2011 by Kevin Wilkinson, a Slinger football coach who was fighting his own personal battle with cancer. Kevin passed away 2 months after the game, but it was his wish that it gets carried on. So the Coaches vs. Cancer game has become an annual event. To date, they have raised over $165,000 to aid in the fight against cancer. They have created a traveling trophy that goes to the winner for that year. In 2023, the trophy was renamed the Wilkinson Redders Jacklin Traveling Trophy after Slinger head football coach Bill Jacklin lost his wife to cancer in 2022. So when I say this rivalry is a bit different than most, now you understand. Let's start with the Slinger Owls, 2-0 to start the year with wins over Menominee Falls and defending Division II state champion Lake Geneva Badger. We are now joined by the head football coach from Slinger High School. He's Bill Jacklin. Hey, Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing very well. So the school started in a good spot. It's always a good beginning of the year.
Hey, Coach, before we start talking football in tonight's matchup, been a tough year and a half for you and your family, and just know that there's a lot of guys out here praying for you guys. It's been a rough year. We've had your parents we've lost, your wife. Just been a rough year for you, and I just want to check in, personally to see how you're doing.
I am doing great. My 3 boys are doing great. I live in a great community. They support me, a great extended family. So we're doing fine. It was last year. I just want to forget 2023, move on. But I try to tell my kids in my class and my players, you can dwell on things, but sometimes you gotta just keep trucking ahead and going forward and just to make the most of it and make the most of your own life. So that's kind of my motto. To keep moving forward, and we just enjoy life. We enjoy time together. My kids and I a lot more than we ever have. So that's what you got to make a positive out of negative.
Bill, we've had this conversation about the Slinger community and how they have just put their arms around you and your family and these boys. And you've said to me a number of times that you don't know what you would do if it wasn't for this community, not only the football community, but the entire Slinger community. And I just want to say thank you to them.
Yeah, thank you. I say the same thing. Thanks. They've been great.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk a little football if we can. So far, so good, right? Start the year 2-0 against some pretty good teams. You beat Menominee Falls and beat the Division II state champion Lake Geneva Badger. Feeling pretty good about where this team is at?
Yeah, I was really pleased at how we played the first week against the Falls. We were down. We didn't play particularly well first half. Offensively, we were behind the sticks, and defensively, we gave up some passes that we probably shouldn't have gave up. And we were down 21-10, and we made some adjustments halftime. And I think it helped to have that game where you have to persevere the first week. We all want to win games, but when you roll over people, I don't know how much that makes your team better. Last week, obviously, Badger, I've known Matt for a long time. He was on staff one year when I was a lowly JV coach. He was on our staff one year, and I know him very well. And he has a great program down in Badger, obviously winning the state title. And that was a great game for us, great atmosphere. I think it really prepared us going into our conference. We got, obviously Hartford this week and the Homesteads, and see, there isn't a night off in our conference, and I just feel like that both those games prepared us for the conference play.
Coach, talking to football coaches, it's kind of like 3 different levels, right? You get the non-conference, let's find out where we're at, but everybody has that same goal. Let's win this conference. And so when you start your opening conference game against a rivalry like Slinger, it adds a little something to this matchup. The first game in conference, and you happen to play a team that's 9 miles away. I know the coaching staff gets along a little bit. Players don't like each other a whole lot, which adds something to this game.
Yeah, we get along great as staffs for a long time. It is a rivalry, but it is one of those just nasty type things. We just get after it one night a year, and Hartford, they're a physical football team. So playing Badger last week and coming away healthy, I think that's going to help us prepare for this Friday because we're going to see a very similar type offense, big up front, physical, run the ball right in your face kind of type of thing. And I think defensively, I think they're better than what we saw against Badger defensively. So it'll be a great challenge for us playing away. It's always a great atmosphere. Lots of people. It'll be nice and loud, just like it was last Friday. And that's what I really enjoyed about playing Badger. We're ready, I believe, for this Friday.
Coach, before we get into some of the seniors that are making this team go, the Coaches vs. Cancer part of this that you guys do and the amount of money that you raise each year is really impressive. And it's very personal to both coaching staffs. And I think it's really impressive how this has grown year after year.
Yeah, it was great. It seems like yesterday Coach Wilkinson was on our sidelines.
Yep.
He's the one that started this. He wanted a legacy, to going forward of two rivals working together to, obviously battle something way bigger than football. And it's so proud that it's been this way. Deb Martola has been outstanding. She's kind of the chairperson of this whole thing, and it's really taken off. In fact, this year I told her I would match. So we do a donation at halftime. I said, I'll match up to $2,000, whatever we raise this for Friday night. So I know it's special to John and it's special to me. It's emotional. It's an emotional game because you think outside of what football is, and you think about what we try to teach our kids, and life in general. You're always gonna run into things that are not great in your life, and it all comes out how you're gonna handle it, and that's kind of what we preach. And I think this cancer, touches everyone. I mean, I don't know of anybody that hasn't been touched by it. So it's a common cause for both communities.
As you said, we're moving forward, and I like that. We have to start with your son when we talk about some of the seniors that make this team go. Chase Jacklin, so far so good, having a pretty good year.
Yeah, I love him. I mean, obviously he doesn't talk. I mean, he's a worker. I feel like I live with a 40-year-old because he's in bed at like 8:30 every night. I have this cold tub. He goes in the cold tub, and when he gets back from practice, and he just eats something, goes to bed, and I never have to wake him up for class. So I'm proud of him that way on the field. He's really gelled with our offensive line. We're not particularly physically like super big anymore. One student, Charlie Hoyting, went to Stanford a year early. He was a big part of our offense, but our offensive line is really strong, and they're very tight-knit, very close. So I think we're in a really good place, and I think Chase helps contribute to that.
Another kid that I think we need to highlight a little bit, Caleb Burkle is a kid that plays both sides of the ball, and he defensively doesn't mind coming up and hitting people. Offensively, I think he adds something to your team that people have to pay quite attention to.
Yeah, the great thing about Caleb is a little different runner than our other guys. He likes to find contact sometimes and run people over. But this is the greatest quality he has. We have a lot of weapons on offense. All right, and he's a full-time defensive player that's going to play some offense. Not one complaint, never a complaint. He gets on when he gets his chance. He makes the most of it, and this unbelievable team player that way. Some kids would be like, "Well, I need more carries than you." That is never uttered from him. He is just a team player, and whatever it takes to win.
Hey, last player we want to talk about, Michael Thiede is your quarterback, and he runs the show on offense. It's his huddle. Feel pretty good about him and the progressions that he has made.
Yeah, Michael, I can't say enough about Mike. Michael started. He was in his classroom, 4th grade. But so I'd like to take a little credit for that. But he is unbelievable. He's a better leader than his player, and he's an unbelievable player. He is a calming force. He's the one that he can get after. Like last night, he got after our team a little bit. Wasn't the greatest practice. Got after him a little bit, but he's hardest on himself. And he is, he's a great player. He started off the season very well, but just that leadership quality, the calming. A lot of his buddies are in defense, and I'm going to tell you, they love to get after him in practice. They pick the ball off. They're all over him.
Hey, Bill, thank you. I look forward to spending some time on the sidelines with you. I enjoy the time that we get to spend together. Good luck in this game tonight, and good luck the rest of the way.
I really appreciate it. I want to thank you for all you do. You really highlight high school sports, and I think that's unbelievably great, and thank you for doing that.
Anytime. Thanks, Coach. We're going to get to a break. Other side of the break, we'll be joined by Coach John Redders from Hartford High School. This is the Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling Friday Night Rivals pregame show only on My 24.